So when faced with obstacles, you must work on either getting around them, over them, or through them. And they want you to welcome Simon. Thank you so much.
My colleague, she's not a partner in crime, because I would go to prison if I say that. I'm glad to see you once again this morning, and she's given you the background of where we came from. Those of you that are just coming for the first time, you have missed a lot because we came from far. And if you're coming for the 5th time, like Dr. My sister, some of my sisters here, it means you have been with us from the beginning. And today we are finalizing our presentations. My name is Simon Ssenkaayi. I work with her, Alcom Perfections. My conviction is rooted in Proverbs 4:8. If you prize wisdom, she will make you great. If you embrace her, she will honor you. The greatest challenge today is people having a lot of people carrying their heads, but don't know why they are carrying their heads. Like we said in the previous presentations, that the greatest tragedy of life is having life and not know why you have it. People wake up every day. I repeat this every time. They wake up every day. They go to places of work they hate. They sit with people they don't like. They do things they don't like because of money. They push themselves every day to sit there, not because they want, but because they want to get that little money. And they become slaves for the rest of their time, for the rest of their lives. And by the time they realize that they had to leave, it is late. By the time they realize that they had to do something, they have clocked 60. When you clock 50, a lot of fears come in you. When you're at my age, you have a lot of things to try. You don't even care whether you fail or not. You do it for as long as you still have hope in tomorrow. So the most important thing in life is knowing and understanding why you do whatever you do, why you came here, why you work where you work, why you earn that amount of money, why you relate with those people that you relate with, and why you're in the marriage that you're in, and why you're the way you are. That is the most important thing about life. For when you know all that, your life will be aligned. You'll have a direction. You'll have a compass of your life. She's been talking about finding your purpose. We looked at the principles, the 6 principles of becoming ourselves or reaching the things that we want in life. Those of you who were not here in the previous sessions, we looked at the principle of purpose. She's talked about it. Understanding why you exist. We looked at the principle of passion. We said that you cannot have passion unless you love what you're doing. And you can't love what you're doing unless it is you. It defines who you are. You can't have a person in service. She can't do it perfectly if she doesn't love it. If she's doing it for the money, she will be average. You can't do whatever you're doing for money. If you don't love it, it is not yours. That is why I tell people, if you quit what you're doing, it means it was never yours. It was never yours. People that have been persistent with things that they've been doing, it's not because that things have been working out every time they've been practicing them, but they loved them deeply, that without those things, maybe they couldn't exist. So we looked at the principle of passion, and we said if you have the passion, you need to have the plan. And we said if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. You must know how you're going to move from point A to point Z of your life. And if you have the plan, you need to get the right people. We say that in life you need people to succeed, and you need to lose people to succeed. There's no reason why you should have over 300 contacts in your phone, and you can spend like a month or 2 months without even talking to someone. The only contacts that you can have and keep for a year, years and years, they're your siblings, your family, your parents. Other than that, you don't need all of those people. People are so proud to be on Facebook to say, I have 10,000 people that follow me, but they don't relate with more than 10. So we said you need the right people in your life to become the person that you want to be. And you need to lose some people to become the person that you want to be. And when you have the right people, you know your purpose, you have the passion, you have a clear plan, and you have the right people in your life, then you need to be persistent. If this exists in English, I would say it. You need to be persistently persistent and consistently consistent with whatever you want to do. If you want to become something or you want to achieve something, you need to be persistently persistent. So we are going to look at the principle of persistence, and I've been told I have like 25 minutes. So today we are looking at two principles. We are concluding this, the principle of persistence and the principle of prayer. There are 6 principles. What is persistence? The fact of continuing in an opinion or course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. The challenge we all have here is giving up on ourselves. I remember the day I started this in 2005. I was a volunteer at the German Foundation for World Population, by then DSW Bonita. They gave me an opportunity to represent young people, to speak before people who were coming from Sweden, Canada, and some from here, from different organizations who had gathered at DSW. The first 5 minutes I didn't say anything. I was stammering, and whatever I presented was never connected, but I was given 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I realized that I had wasted time for people. I got embarrassed, and I resolved never to speak if some people to speak. But then one man came to me and told me that I've seen something great in you, yet I've almost done nothing. I've seen something great in you. If you concentrate on that, you have something. If you bring it out, you'll help so many people. That was the beginning. I've come across so many people who have underrated me, who have misread me, who have misunderstood me. I've come across so many people that I even believed in or who inspired me, but at the end they disappointed me. One day I was interacting with some CEOs of different companies. Some of these CEOs have interacted with them ever since I was in my first year at campus. I believed in these people so much because they made us who we are, they inspired us always, they told us that we could do great things. But one day, one of them made a comment that was so frustrating. 5 years ago, he told me, you don't look what you say. If you begin to do what you're saying, then I'll believe in you. But then I told this guy, you inspired me to become what I am. You even gave me the strength to keep on doing what I'm doing. I didn't expect that from him. I was disappointed. I said, okay, let me go back to NGOs and work. I've worked with Save the Children, Young Empowered Health, Straight Off Foundation. I said, let me go there and bury myself in work because you can get some money. I could be moving in organizations. But then I realized that if I don't do what I love, I don't have any value. I don't feel any value. Something that gave me pride, something that gave me a lot of happiness and fulfillment was always doing something that I loved. Unfortunately, what I loved couldn't give me money. Yet I needed money. Then those of you who are here, in the previous sessions, I talked about the concept of the seed. That when a seed grows on its own and becomes a tree and bears the fruits, the first principle, it never eats its own fruits, never calls people to eat the fruit, never takes the fruits to the market, and every season it will bear the fruits and doesn't care whether those that have ate or enjoyed the fruits were bad or good. It will continue bearing the fruits, producing the fruits. For it's not looking for enjoying its fruits, it is looking for security. And the only way it can get security, not to be cut down, is by giving the right fruits. So I told myself that I'm not going to enjoy what I'm doing. It may not even benefit me. But at the end of the day, if it can attract thousands and thousands of other people, then that is the only way I can get what I want. The tragedy of life today is our countries or our communities or our organizations are full of people who want to get without giving. Yet that is the natural law, that is the natural principle of life. To get, you have to give. But today we have so many people that want to get a lot, but they don't want to give anything. So that is the challenge. So that is why after people getting a lot of money, amassing a lot of wealth, they come back to communities. Recently, I interacted with some CEOs and managers of Ssenkaayi Bank. Most of them, 90%, were in Rotary. I told them that people who come back to society, of course some are genuine, they want to serve, but after getting a lot of money, they realize that it is nothing. So they want to be recognized by society. They are looking for greatness. Now they come back to churches to contribute, they come back to community initiatives to contribute, not because they want to lose their money, but they want society to recognize them that they live. So at the end of the day, they realize that money is nothing, but you have to give out something in order to be recognized by nature. So whatever you're going to do in life, you're going to find disappointment. If you're in sales, like my brother, he's my elder brother. If you're in sales, like him, you can talk to 100 people and they refuse. What do? You give up. If you don't believe in that thing, if you don't love it, you're going to be disappointed, you're going to be frustrated. And the best people to frustrate you are your close friends. Close friends. You tell a friend, I'm going to do this, and they tell you, don't waste your time. That is useless. So if you don't believe in it and you consistently do it, you're going to give up on it. So whatever you do, the most important thing is not where you're standing today, but where you want to be in the future. Muhammad Ali was one day interviewed and asked, how do you win? Why is it that sometimes after being beaten and you fall down, you come up again? He said that whenever you focus on that last minute, when the referee is putting your hand up, crowning you as a champion, that feeling alone forces you to stand up again. He said in the moment where all your body parts are telling you to stop, to give up, the Spirit keeps on reminding you that there is something better. So instead of focusing on where you're standing today, focus on where you want to be tomorrow. And don't do these things because you're doing it for someone. Do it because you love it, and do it because it is you. Without it, you can't live. Those great people that we see, we say greatness is a product of influence. Influence is a product of significance. Significance is a product of value. Value is a product of refinement. Refinement is a product of uniqueness. Uniqueness is a product of a gift, and the gift is given by God. So those people that are great first became spiritual. How? They loved deeply what they were doing. When you love deeply what you're doing, you get into it. When you get into it, it is not the mind, it is the spirit that gets into it. You begin to discover new things in it. That is the gift. When you go into the deeper realm of your gifts and you focus on them, there is that extra energy, that unique energy that arises in you that forces you to continue moving. Even when all the people have stopped, you continue believing and moving. So you need to find yourself. We talked about this, the principle of purpose. You cannot have passion. You cannot have love. You can't persist. You can't even find the right people if you don't know who you are. Recently, I shared with some marrieds. I attended a conference of married people, and one great counselor said, marriage is made by love. I listened to her presentation like for an hour, and when my time came, I told them, honestly, to be honest, that is wrong. Marriage is not built on love. Marriage is built on understanding, because love is a product of understanding. Love is like seeing mangoes on a tree. There is a process that takes place before you see the mangoes. Understanding of each other, knowing how women see things in their world and knowing how men see things in their world. Because when she does something, before you even judge her, because you understand why she does what she does, you always put yourself in her feet to see through her eyes and feel through her feelings, to understand why has she behaved the way she has behaved. That is not love. Love doesn't create that. It is understanding that creates love in someone, and they begin to ignore a few things that would have consumed most of their time. So the most important thing is understanding, and that understanding is deeply rooted in your purpose. All of us have a lot of knowledge. So many people are knowledgeable, but the most important thing is finding people who understand what they know. For when you understand what you know, you create a difference. For instance, so many people know that this is a laptop. All people know that it's a laptop, but few people know or understand how to operate a laptop. All people know their vehicles. They drive. They can tell you the make, the chassis number. They can tell you a lot about their car. They know how to drive their car, and you can't even teach them how to drive. But if the car fails to start, that is where the problem comes in. That for years they've been driving the car, they know the car, but they never understood how the car operates. So the most important thing is not knowledge, is understanding. But understanding is deeply rooted in your purpose. Those that don't know who they are, they know a lot of things, but they don't understand anything. That is, they are called jacks, a jack of all trade, but a master of none. You have to find something, one thing that you're sure, if they assemble 100 people, you're sure you'll be the first. The principle is, I don't want to be called the best of the best, but I want to be the only person who can do what I do. So which means every day I strive to take an extra step. I strive to become better, to perfect the art. But you're not going to achieve anything unless you're persistent. And you'll never be persistent at anything unless it was your purpose. All of you have given up on so many things. You've even kept on postponing what you're supposed to do because that is not yours. You've given up on people that you loved. You've given up on your jobs. You've given up on initiatives that you had started. You've given up on so many things. You didn't give up because you didn't have the capacity. You gave up because it was never you. That were never you. Someone, recently I was listening to Irene Ntale giving her interview. She was frustrated several times by men. She was abused several times. One day she went to a studio and the producer, one of the prominent producers here, told her that you can't sing. I mean, this is a girl who had worked for what she thought she was for 5 years. Now she goes into a studio to produce a song. She tries, and the producer tells her you cannot sing. Lionel Messi was told that he had a syndrome that doesn't allow people to grow. He went into several academies and he was rejected. And one of the managers, if you read about his background, one of the managers told him that go and find something else to do. You can't play football. Those people were talking out of ignorance, but the boy saw something in him and he believed in it. He persisted until when he joined, he found a small, cheapest academy that he could join. Today he's been the world's #1 player for almost 4 or 5 times. But at the beginning, people never see what you are. At the beginning, people will never see what you see. And let me tell you, they can't see it because it is never them. That is why people who base whatever they do on other people's perceptions, they never do anything. Because people, the eyes of the people can easily see the negative side than the positive side. When you share something with someone, the first thing they're going to tell you is the negative. I want to go into poultry. The first thing they're going to tell you are the diseases and challenges of poultry, but they will never focus on the opportunities of poultry. I want to do ABCD. The first thing they will focus on is to see the bad and the negative. No one focuses on the good out of it. So it is always better when you know who you are. You'll keep on moving. You'll keep on keeping on, even after so many disappointments. So for how long are you willing to run after your dream? Just because someone or nature has closed a few doors of your life doesn't mean that that's the end. They say pray in one place, but seek everywhere. The Bible says, knock, it shall be opened unto you. They say pray or ask, it shall be given unto you, and seek, you shall find. But there is one thing when you read that scripture, there's one thing you note. The Bible never specified how many times you try, how many times you're supposed to knock, how many times you're supposed to pray or seek. They simply say knock, it shall be opened unto you. So you have to keep on knocking. But what if you're knocking a door that you don't love? You'll give up. So you have to keep on knocking and knocking and knocking until when the door gets tired of your knocking and it opens. If you gave up, it were never yours. Life is about winning. I've never come across a monument in any country, or I've never read about any monument in any country or any place that was for someone who gave up. And all those people that we admire every day, they have their own story. They have gone through lots and lots of things, but they never gave up. But what kept them moving was never the journey. It was always the destination, the end of the journey. Some of us keep doing whatever we are doing, not because of the benefits along the way, but the end of the journey where we focus. That is where our focus is. So that is persistence. Persistence, it is how to keep going when everything tells you to stop. The mother is your purpose. If you don't know what you want in life, you're always going to be taken up by good things. Good things, not everything that is good is right for you. You're going to give up on so many things, not because they are hard or difficult, but simply because you don't have the love for them. So persistence is a product of love. It's a product of passion. It's a product of purpose. Don't wait for a snake to fall into the ditch. Two men were walking in the forest. They had went to collect firewood in the African setting. As they were coming back, on their way back home, one of them slipped into the ditch. It was a bit deep. The guy tried, and it was a rainy season. He tried several times to come out and failed. Then the friend realized that he could not come out. He had to run back home to get a rope. So put down his firewood and ran so fast, like 5 kilometers, to go back home to pick a rope. On his way back, extremely tired, but running so fast and panting, he found the guy out of the ditch. Yet he had tried several times and failed. But he found him deeply looking into the ditch and quiet. The guy came back panting. You man, we tried, now you've made me run this fast and you're out. He told him, look into the ditch. And there was a big snake. He told him, as he was waiting for him to come back, a snake slipped into the ditch, and he had two options: to be bitten by a snake or to leave the ditch. Some people like that, they're waiting for problems to come their way, for them to get out of themselves and find their greatest inner strength and potential. The most important thing is find what you're looking for in life. Don't sit here for nothing. Don't waste 60,000 shillings and waste your time for nothing. You must know why and what you're looking for in life. The times are so challenging, and let me tell you, I'm good at economics and I relate with some economists. I don't want to disappoint you, but it is going to get more harder. Nature acts like when someone becomes sick and becomes very ill, they die. When they die, before their last funeral rites or rumbe, to get a hair, they have to first what? Die. They die completely and people know that they are buried. And after a few days, they organize the last funeral rites. They identify a hair. They can't identify a hair until when everything is dead. Our economy is collapsing at an increasing rate. Why? We are importing 90% and exporting 5%, which means there is less foreign exchange into our economy. Where are we going to get the money? There is no money. The government is not going to get money. Why? Because we are not selling much. The only source of money is taxation. That is why people are going to cry and cry and cry. But a time is going to come when you have to pay tax for the air that you breathe. They haven't said it, but look at what you eat, what you use every day. You pay for life. And it is going to become more tougher. Some people expect hope. No. Hope doesn't come, it's not something abstract. You prepare for hope. So this time more than ever, people must know why they wake up every day. They shouldn't come to Kampala with just guesswork. They're going to try out things. They must know why they're waking up. They must know why they come to town. They must know why they're doing whatever they're doing and where they want to go. So those that are moving like empty polythene bags of sugar, they're going to be pushed by the winds, by the stronger winds. Some of them will land in the thorns, others will land in fire. So more than ever, there is a challenge. We have a challenge to think of how we are going to live. We have families, we have children that are going to school. Today, kindergarten child pays much more money than even someone going to university. And it's not going to become lesser. It is increasing every day because of the standards that you want. Where are you going to get the 2 million shillings tomorrow to pay for your kid? Whose hope you don't even see? They are still at kindergarten. Studying what? They are being trained to speak English, to put on well, and to relate, and maybe to swim. In our days, we used to go to kindergarten for 2 years. Baby, top. Started school at 3. Baby, top. You go to primary. Today, baby, middle. People are creating ways and thinking of ways every day of how they can get to money, how they can tax an ignorant average person. And that ignorant average person is going to be taxed and taxed until when they get fed up and go back to the villages. So it is a challenging time. Man must face his fate or be destroyed by it. You have to face the fate. So this business of waking up every day, going to your workplace, working for your boss, thinking that you're targeting that small money, a job is a short-term solution to a long-term problem. If you've read the parable of the pipeline, one person decided to carry the bucket, another one decided to dig a pipeline. The challenge with carrying buckets, that is employment. If you have a bucket of 20 liters, you're striving to get a bucket of 40 liters, thinking that the job is going to solve some of your problems. God is not wasteful. God alone. If He gives you 2 million shillings, He makes sure that the challengers are 6 million shillings. You don't waste a coin. You have to fix yourself into the amount that you get. So at the end of the day, it is not how much you earn, but how well you plan for what you earn to get what you want. You cannot get what you want unless you know who you are. Otherwise, you're going to get the salary, because today, by the time you see a salary, you're paying the rent, transport, you're eating, and paying the bills. And it's done. So it is like people are working for just to live. And now taxes are coming in. And let me tell you, the government doesn't have any source of income. Its source of income is us. Us. Characteristics of a good tax, if you study taxation in O level. Direct taxes are bad, but the government has no alternative. There's no option. We've been having indirect taxes because a liter of fuel in Rwanda is extremely cheap, yet Rwanda's fuel passes through Uganda. In vehicles, our liter is 4,100 shillings. There is a tax of 70%. Those are indirect taxes. Ignorant people don't feel them. Now they have brought in direct taxes. You're going to pay for those shoes, you're going to pay for the road, you're going to pay for everything, you're going to pay for it directly. We have no choice. So, we need to reorganize ourselves. We need to sit down and see, where are we going with our lives? What are we doing? Why do we even live? Other people are going to choose for death. You're a man, you're going back home, people want school fees, they want food, they want rent. You don't have a coin. What do you do? The first week, the second week, third week. People are going to get lost. Switch off their mobile phones, throw them into the lake, and go. The wives begin to complain, my husband went. The people report others at police that they are lost. They are going to take themselves away because they cannot sustain the responsibility, the burden of responsibility. And remember, people are getting married for fun and love and lust, but they don't understand even the commitment. So they are going to become more disappointed. So you must know your purpose. When you know your purpose, you have the passion, you have the plan, you look for the right people, you become persistent. And the last principle is prayer. I tell people we are created for this moment. Those people that have come to me and told me, how are we going to live? I told them, this is my time. I was created for this time. You pay 60,000 shillings, I talk to you. Because you cannot live in the times. So, prayer is the last principle, but the greatest. Prayer is not a religious activity. For those of you that are religious, it's not a religious activity. I told you in the previous sessions that we have two people in us. We have the mind and the spirit. People that are going to do extraordinary things in life are those people that have always followed their spirits more than their brains. Because the brain believes in the facts and the spirit believes in the truth. That is the difference. The brain believes in the fact. The fact is that my brother is here. But the truth is he doesn't work here. And after here he has to leave. So facts are temporary, but the truth is permanent. So the spirit that believes in the truth, let me shock you. Your spirit knows why you exist. Your spirit knows why you were born. And the whites call it a calling, because when you're quiet, seated somewhere, something inside you reminds you of what you're supposed to do. That is a calling. There is a voice. People search into Changambi. There is a voice that keeps on communicating to us. The whites have mastered the art of listening to the spirit. That is why you're going to find public speaking in Europe and America is highly expensive. People attend sessions and they pay $5,000, $10,000, $3,000, $2,000. Because for them, they understand. They go for trainings to train themselves on how they can listen and master the art of following the spirit. All of you have kept on postponing what you're supposed to do. But the spirit keeps on reminding you, do it. Deep inside you, when you keep quiet, it reminds you to do something. But you keep on postponing it. Why? You follow your brains. The brains are full of knowledge but lack understanding. It is the spirit that understands. That is why Solomon asked for 3 things in their chronological order: knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. But understanding was the foundation. If you don't understand, you're going to have a lot of knowledge. Knowledge that you cannot use to help yourself and help those around you. So the only way a spirit, for a spirit to manifest what it was created to do, there must be a connection between the spirit and the spiritual world. And the only way a spirit, my spirit, connects to the world that you can't see is through prayer. That is why prayer is not an option. It is not a religious activity. Prayer is an obligation to any spirit that has a body, that is a human. Human, the word was humus man. They removed the syllable, they shortened the syllable to make it human, but it was humus man. Humus meaning that, man meaning spirit. Man doesn't mean a guy who puts on trousers and impregnates a wife and they produce children. Man means both male and female. A humus man, it is a spirit that has a body. Every spirit that has a body must have a connection to the spiritual world. Why? Prayer is a license that allows the spiritual world to manifest or to interfere in the physical world to manifest things for you. It's just that people told you that you have to pray, and people think praying is an option. That is why they are religious. Religions don't expose you to understanding. Religions expose you to more rituals. That's why people are so much focused on protecting the traditions than the truth. They know the truth, but they protect the tradition. I can give you an example. When you pray, for instance, in Uganda, one day I was somewhere and I was praying. I prayed and I said, Mukama mulungi. Some people said ekiseera kyonna, others obudde bwonna. Then I noticed, asked myself why. I realized that obudde bwonna, they're different from ekiseera kyonna. The moment someone says a kanisa and a kereziya, people are different already. But it is the same, it is the church. So someone will tell you, I go to a kereziya, esigenda mu kanisa. And the other one will say, no, I belong to a kanisa, I don't go to. But what is the difference? These people that separated people, they simply drew some thin lines. And someone is willing to say, Yesu, Yesu. The moment you pray and say Yesu, there is someone who switches off. And when you say Yesu, there is someone who switches off. Why? Because religions are protecting traditions than the truth. So, to understand the prayer, you must get out of your religion and understand the act of praying in its essence. It is not religious, but you must have a connection between you and the spiritual world that you don't know, but it exists. Let me tell you, whatever happens in the physical world first happens in the spiritual world. That is why whatever you have become today, you thought about it before. This building was planned and it came from the mind of someone. It was never seen before. But someone from the spirit thought about it and put it on paper. There is nothing you're going to do in life before it comes into you from the spiritual world. Now this is the tragedy. The spirit knows why you exist, and since childhood it has been communicating to you. You have been fighting it and suppressing it with your mind, full of degrees and knowledge that is useless. I mean, you find a child in Makerere University reading a book that was published in 1960, but the child is pursuing a degree and expecting to graduate next year. They are reading knowledge of 1960, which doesn't apply to his life. That is why people graduate, they move out of college or university, and they look for jobs for 10 years. They have old knowledge that doesn't apply to the new dynamics of the world they live in. So you must look for understanding, and understanding the secret is in prayer. That is why it is the 6th principle. You must have a connection between you and your spiritual world. You must be able to communicate to the spiritual world. It is just that we are misled. We are never taught to tap into that world, to understand and manifest things. We are told that books, when you talk about the spiritual world, it is satanic. It it is satanic. Why? We are so good. For instance, is my brother, he won't get angry with me. Why does he put on that? Tradition. He doesn't put it on because he understands why. But it's a tradition that shows if you put it on, you belong. So, being religious doesn't make you holy, doesn't make you a person that understands, has understanding. That is why you that have come here, you must try to get out of the box of religion. Stand outside this box, because you can never see something and understand it from close range. Get out of it. See it from a distance. Be able to understand it and come back. Why? Because society wants you to belong to a certain denomination. Yes. Society. But you. Religion is a relationship between a man and his God. That is your religion. Actually, we tell people that what you do in the dark, when you're sure no one is seeing you, that is your religion. And find out what you do in the dark when you're sure no one sees you. You realize that 99.9% of people don't have religion. They have front seats in churches and in temples, but they don't believe in it. That is why, for some of you who have tried to read the concepts of the self of Jesus, you realize that he fought religious people and lawmakers. His greatest enemies were religious men and lawmakers, the Pharisees and the scribes. The Pharisees of those days were the religious, the cardinals, the bishops, and the priests. Now, the scribes were the lawmakers. He fought them. That is why he told them, you stupid people, you saw the kingdom of God, you didn't enter, but even you closed some people from entering the kingdom. Why was he telling them that? What is the kingdom? The kingdom is the purpose. God created the world and knew it would have lots of challenges. He never created solutions. Instead of creating solutions, he created human beings. Every human you see walking outside there is a solution to a certain problem. That is your purpose. When you become the solution to the problem, you don't have to look for money. Money is going to look for you because you have become a solution to a problem. That is why you don't live for yourself. You must give what you have in order to get what you want. So you can't get what you have, what you want, unless you have something that you've given. But what about some people who don't have anything to give but expect to get? That is the world we live in. So understand the principle of purpose. The principle of passion. Passion is a product of purpose. Plan is a result of passion. The right people are a result of a right plan. And persistence is a product of purpose and passion. But all those can become true when you understand the art of prayer. You must know when, how. I can even take years without going to the church, but I pray every day. Even when I'm driving, even when I'm walking, even before presenting, I pray. Why? Because I don't come to speak to the minds. In your universities, they have been speaking to your minds. I come to speak to the spirits. When the spirits regain control over the human people, you don't have to push them, they'll push themselves. When you wake up deep inside you, no one is going to push you. You'll push yourself. That is what we are striving for. And go to organizations and see people who simply go there for routine, to fulfill a routine. Why? Because their spirits are dead. Someone dies at the age of 25 and they get buried at 90. Why? They stopped striving for anything. They stopped aiming for something at 25. The day you stop striving for something, you're dead. So prayer, the word prayer means to commune with. It keeps you in contact with the one who gave you the dream. Prayer revives your reserves when you are hit and tired. There are several times we are hit. There are several times we get disappointed and frustrated. What helps us to come up again is that strength of the Spirit, and that strength of the Spirit comes from the spiritual maker. So some of you are going to fall down and you won't wake up or stand up again. But remember, in the end, it's not how many times you have tried and failed, but how many times you'll be able to lift yourself up again with the same courage, strength, and focus, and determination and passion to keep on moving forward toward what you want. One of my spiritual makers said, extraordinary exploits are done by extraordinary people who believe in an extraordinary God. I want to thank you so much for moving with us from the beginning. I want you to realize how much you have lost if this is your first time. People don't grow when they get bigger jobs or when they earn more. People grow when they understand what they know. I told you about a professor in Makerere who has a doctorate, was driving a TX, new model. One day, wake up in the morning, started it several times and failed. He became crazy. He didn't know why his new car was not starting. I also started it and failed. We got a boy in Mengo of P2, stopped in P2, but understood the vehicle more than we understood it. Came and tried it 2 times and automatically knew the problem. Told us the problem, was given money, solved the problem, and the car started. The world is not going to reward people that are knowledgeable. The world is waiting to reward people that understand what they know. So understand what you know, become a master of what you know. You'll become a consultant. Thank you so much for listening to me. I wish you a nice weekend. We are trying all that we can to make sure that we produce a DVD of these sessions from the beginning. In the meantime, they are on YouTube, or you can go to www.simonssenkaayi.com. You'll find the videos there, the link. So thank you so much. Get in touch with Sheba. We'll be, actually, they have to be added. The new ones have to be added on the group, and be active on the group. Don't just be there to sit and read what other people are posting. We'll be telling you what will happen, but we are going to assess ourselves. Some of those of you who filled the forms, we are going to look into them and talk to you one-on-one to see how we can help each other, have a round table discussion, and see how we can help each other to fulfill ourselves or to find our purposes. So thank you so much. A blessed weekend, and looking forward to seeing you again next time.